my 2023 Classic Physique Olympia predictions. Can CBum be beaten? What's up, Desktopers? Xavier Wills here for Desktop Bodybuilding, and we are back with another video and another one for the Olympia series, my 2023 Classic Physique Olympia preview and predictions. I'm going to give you guys my top 10. I'm going to go from 10th all the way up to 1st and break it down, but I have 4 guys that I pretty much left off this list, but you guys might be wondering where they are. So there's some noticeable mentions. So first I've got Laszlo Kiraly, who was right on the verge of getting into my top 10 for this year's Olympia. He's got a great physique. People put him in photos next to CBum and go, oh, look, he's better than CBum. I think if you stand him side by side, there's going to be a clear difference, but he's a great competitor. Jae Hoon Park, he finished 15th last year. He's got a great physique, comes in shredded, great legs. Beat out 2 really good guys this year in Logan Franklin and also Robert Timms. So they're 2 guys that can easily get into the Classic Physique Olympia. I think he'll do pretty well, move up 3 spots or so and solidify himself inside that top 15. Gabriel Zancanelli. Now, this guy finished 13th last year. I've got him 13th this year as well. He's got a great physique. He's obviously a Brazilian favorite as well. Very, very good classic physique bodybuilder. And a Courage Opara, who was in there in the early days or reasonably early days of the classic physique as well. He brings a great physique, a shorter guy, but a great sort of vacuum pose, and the way he hits his shots is very, very artistic as well. But let's get into the top 10. So in 10th place, I have Michael DeBull. Finished 10th place last year as well. He's made some improvements, but really all these guys are improving as the contests go on. Even if they're near the top of their weight caps, they're still improving, and Michael DeBull is right on that weight limit as well. I think he'll come in better this year, maybe a little bit sharper, more refined, but I have him in 10th place just because he is capping out that weight limit. In 9th place, I have Alex Cambronero, who was also 9th as well last year, so I'm sort of running it back with that prediction. He just won the Masters Olympia in the Classic Physique. He looked great there. I think he can improve a little bit more, come in a little bit sharper, and he'll need to at this level. He's a former Classic Physique Arnold Classic champion. It's hard to believe he's over 40 years of age, but he is. He looks great as always, and I think he'll get inside the top 10 once again. In 8th place, I have Wesley Vissers, Vintage Aesthetics. Wesley Vissers, guys, what's up? Love Wesley Vissers' physique. He's got a really unique physique, the big rib cage. Hasn't got the typical classic physique with a really itty bitty waist and just flaring out like that, but he's got some nice round muscle, more the Arnold prototype of a classic physique rather than a Frank Zane, but I really like his shape. It's unique, it looks cool. When he hits his twisting bicep shots, they look absolutely phenomenal. Big fan of Wesley Vissers, and I'll try to get him on before the Classic Physique Olympia this year for an interview. In 7th place, I have Mike Sommerfeld. Now, I believe Mike Sommerfeld last year was in the top 5, and he looked really damn good. He's got the structure. The only issue he ever has is conditioning, really. So he seems to have figured that out more so last year. I'm sure he'll bring it again once again this year. Will it be enough, though, with some really good guys coming up and guys like Terence Ruffin, who are hoping to go a few spots better this year? But big fan of Mike Sommerfeld's physique, great poser, and just has one of the craziest tapers in the sport today. In 6th place, I have Fabio Junior Ramos Vale. This guy just recently finished 2nd to Terence Ruffin in the Dubai Pro, which had obviously Wesley Vissers in there as well. Also had Branch Chang and obviously Terence Ruffin winning it. And from some people that were actually at the contest, they were looking at Fabio and going, how did this guy make the weight limit? Because he is crazy thick, crazy dense. And if it was a straight up bodybuilding contest, how would this guy do? Does the fact that it's classic physique lean more towards just the really tapered guys, the guys that pose really well? That's the one thing. Maybe he could pose a little bit better, but the density he has in his back, I don't know if anyone's beating him from the back. I don't think anyone is in this classic physique lineup. I think he's that good. So does he push up higher? I did hear from some people that were at the contest that they had him beating Terence Ruffin as well. So I had to put them somewhere close in my predictions, and I have him in 6th here, but he has the potential to really, really push up and push up potentially as high as 2nd place, in my opinion. But you guys can let me know what you think in the comments below about Fabio. In 5th place, I have multiple-time Classic Physique Olympia champion Breon Ansley, a guy who was really the rival to CBum earlier in his career. Breon's coming back to the classic physique. I think it's a great move. If you can be top 5 in the world in your selected class, and I don't think that's a guarantee in the 212s for him, I think it was the right move, especially because he has the extra weight to play with. And you got to remember, all these guys have the extra weight to play with this year, which obviously advantages guys like Fabio as well in this lineup, and guys like Urs and even CBum to an extent, although he only gets 2 pounds extra to play with. But I think this helps Breon Ansley more than anyone. I think he'll be back up there in that top 5 once again and looking fantastic at 40-something years of age at this point. In 4th place, I have Terence Ruffin, a man who's finished second to CBum multiple times at the Classic Physique Olympia, also multiple-time Arnold Classic Physique champion. He's looking really good in his latest updates. He's shredded. He is really, really shredded. But is he big enough to take the challenge to CBum? I don't believe Terence Ruffin is. I think there might be a few guys that are still ahead of him in terms of Ramon Dino and Urs Kalaczynski, because I believe those guys are both more muscular than Terence at this stage. But can Terence outshape and outpose these guys? Potentially, he definitely can. Can he get to a level of a CBum and overtake a CBum? I don't think so, and for that reason, I don't think Terence Ruffin is a challenger to the title this year. If he comes back next year, with all that extra weight he's got, and I believe he's got plenty more pounds before he actually fills out that classic physique now that there's an extra weight limit on top. So next year, maybe, if Terence is able to have a really good off-season, bring in more size with that same shape and conditioning, he can be very dangerous next year. But I don't think he'll be a factor for actually taking the title this year, although he does have a chance to jump into that top 3. In 3rd, I have Ramon Dino. Love Ramon's physique. I love the shape to his muscle bellies. That's what I appreciate most about his physique. A drawback to Ramon is his posing. That's the one thing he really needs to improve. He brings in great conditioning. He hasn't got the dry muscle to the level of like a Chris Bumstead, but he comes in ultra sharp. He's an Arnold Classic champion, came second last year. He should be really the second favorite, although I think there's a guy that's added a lot of muscle to his physique and also poses a lot better in Urs Kalaczynski. He's looking really, really damn good out there in Florida, training with Brett the Butcher Wilkin, who's obviously had to pull out of the Open Men's Olympia. But he's looking fantastic. He's added a considerable amount of muscle to his physique, and the way he poses is literally, I would say, with Terence Ruffin, the best in the classic physique today, although there are a lot of great poses. I think Urs really takes advantage of, I suppose, the way his body is shaped and really hits the poses that suit him best, much like a Terence Ruffin, and makes himself appear bigger than he actually is on stage. So those two guys, although I think out of the top 4, they're the 2 smaller guys compared to like CBum and Ramon, they pose like they're much bigger and make themselves appear much bigger. So I think Urs Kalaczynski will be second at this year's Classic Physique Olympia. And in 1st place, surprise, surprise, I have CBum taking his 5th Classic Physique Olympia title. And my prediction is that he'll actually retire after this year's Olympia. I'm not 100% sure on that one. Obviously, someone in the comments did make a point that he just spent like $1 million making his own gym so he can train away from people for the Classic Physique Olympia title. Why would you do that if you're going to retire? CBum's making a lot of money. He makes a lot of money. He's a huge celebrity. I'm assuming that CBum for a weekend appearance gets about $50,000. Does 20 of those, he builds his own gym. I mean, CBum is that level of celebrity, and obviously he's making money, through Raw and Revive and all these other ventures that he has and sponsorships. So CBum's comfortable with money. I think he'd even still want his own personal home gym, even for content after his career ends. So I don't see that as an actual reason as to why he won't retire. What's 6 titles going to do that 5 doesn't? And he also said as well that he's not going to go for 7 or 8 or 9 or anything like that. So that would mean he's retiring after this year's Olympia or next. Although he says he's taking it one by one, 1 year at a time, one Olympia win at a time. And I think CBum wants to go out on top. So I think he'll retire after this year's Classic Physique Olympia. But you guys can let me know your predictions and what you think about that prediction in the comments below. And if you did enjoy this video, give the video a thumbs up, smash that like button. Also, if you want to keep up with all my 2023 Mr. Olympia coverage, subscribe and hit the notification bell button. That way you'll be notified of every video that goes up from myself, Xavier Wills at Desktop Bodybuilding. So for myself, Xavier Wills, this is Desktop Bodybuilding, and we are out.